Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Talk to Terry Morning Show, where we go over tips, tricks, ideas, and exercises to help make you the absolute best entrepreneur you can be, not only for yourself, but for the people you love and care about most. You become better for not only you, but the people you love and care about most. You gotta be a little uncomfortable and take that leap of faith. You're in control of the process. I'm here with you. If we don't continue to grow, if we don't continue to move on, we will be sad and upset. This morning, I'd like to excuse myself if I hiccup a ton throughout this episode. I am very sorry, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to get through it regardless. I'm not going to let some hiccups keep me from making the show's episode, but I can absolutely not shake these hiccups. Very, very frustrating, but that's okay. 7 tips for when we feel overwhelmed. I'd be lying if I said I haven't been feeling overwhelmed myself lately. I've been having some things pick up and some opportunities pick up for my real estate stuff. And whenever that happens, then my coaching tends to suffer a little bit. And I'm trying to develop this new course and I'm trying to get the pieces down. I'm also working. I'm helping out with my family stuff. And I've just been talking and hanging out with family a ton lately. And just relationships and running around in general, right? So, man, it's been, I'd be lying to say hasn't been tough. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go through 7 talking points. We're going to run through 7 of these tips and tricks and ideas for ourselves to help when we feel overwhelmed. Tip number 1 is prioritize and organize. Prioritize and organize. This is something that can be very difficult and something that I've screwed up with multiple times in the past, and go figure, it causes me a lot of pain. When it comes to just having a lot to do, a lot of times I will pick something that I know isn't the most important task for me personally. What I truly know is my number one goal. Maybe that for you is, I always use the exercise example. You'll hear me do it a million more times because that one has a ton of resistance. It's really hard to do to stay in shape over long periods of time. I thankfully haven't had too much of an issue with that, but working with people more, it seems like health and fitness is definitely really tough to keep up with. But so say maybe you're having a tough time keep up with fitness, and sorry, I'm so distracted because of my hiccups, but I'm trying to keep sharp, baby. What are you gonna do when I'm giving a big speech or something like that? I still got to show up, right? So if I have fitness and I know that's my number one goal, then I'll work on a bunch of small little things on the side just to distract myself from the number one goal. For me, that is, I will go work on my rental property portfolio so I can avoid the really hard task of creating the course content and finishing up the course content, making tutorial videos, making all of these extra documents for my clients to enhance their experience, to increase the value that our company offers. And I will escape that by going and working. Maybe it's mowing the yards in rentals. Maybe it's going and working on a side project. Maybe I'm going and picking up and reading a book. So really making sure that the point of this is when you start to feel overwhelmed, go over your list again of what your top priorities are. And if you have more than 3 priorities, you do not have any priorities at all. Number 2, ask for help. Delegate. I paid $100 to get a couple of my yards mowed at some of our rental properties because my girlfriend and I, we usually do all of that stuff, but I have a lot going on. I had to go mow at my mom's, and I had to mow yards here, and they're not like little tiny city yards. So they, there's some stuff that needs to get done. And then after that, I'm like, man, screw this. I'm not even feeling like doing that. I still have my coaching stuff to work. I had 50 emails to reply to. I had interviews to follow up. I had interviews to record. And I was like, dude, I am not mowing yards. I had 2 more yards right now. I've already been outside for like 6 hours. Not doing that right now. Just pay somebody. And I just sucked it up and paid somebody. I'm unfortunately, one of my qualities I'm really trying to work on is I'm really cheap. I don't want to spend money on stuff if I don't feel like I have to. But if you're in business and you want to grow and you have to expand, like, you have to have people helping you out. You have to delegate. And as right now, I'm a one person business, and then I contract and I freelance everything else out in my businesses to other one person businesses or other companies or whatever suits my needs for that task. Tip number 3 is self-care. So when you are feeling overwhelmed, having some type of self-care is very, very helpful. And you can do this in the form of exercise. You can do this in the form of what I highly, highly encourage is some form of meditation. Maybe you're going out and you're looking at the mountains. Maybe you're going out and you're just looking at the trees, or you're going out and you're watching the water flow in the river. Whatever it is, you're just listening to the birds, or you're just paying attention to your breath, the air coming in and the air coming out, and you're being very mindful. Some type of self-care, because all of the suffering that we are going through, when you are feeling when you are feeling overwhelmed, it's usually from a thought, and then that thought creates a feeling, when it should be your feelings and your emotions should drive the other way around. So don't get too caught up in your thoughts. And I think some type of self-care is very therapeutic with helping with this. And 2 examples that always come to mind is maybe it is mowing the yard, maybe just getting outside and just doing something productive and focusing on it. Or maybe it's going to the gym and exercising your body and really focusing on the movements of your muscle and on your body, or just paying attention to the breath. Focus and attention. Self-care is when you are in the present moment, or something that's going to help you pull into the present moment. Self-care. Number 4 on our list, 4 tips to overcome feeling overwhelmed, is setting realistic goals. And goal setting is, after reading a dozen books on it, working with hundreds of people on setting goals and kind of moving around, that's the meat and potatoes of my business, is realistic goal setting. You don't want to set a goal too small, because I used to always think like, oh, just get started, just write one word. Oh, just read one word out of a book, read one page. And that works a little bit to get you going, but it never, for me personally, I'm only speaking from personal experience. There's a million different ways to hit your goals and do them. For me, when the goal was too tiny, I never was consistent enough, because it wasn't satisfying to me that I felt like I got anything done. It's like, okay, I wrote one sentence for my book. That didn't give me the pleasure and the satisfaction of getting done enough to where I felt like I made real progress on it. But I don't want it to be astronomical. I was doing this writing challenge where I was writing 1,000 words every single day, and I did it for 40 days. And then after that, I couldn't even look at writing. I was so disgusted by it. I just didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to do it. I wanted nothing to do with it, and it kind of burnt me out on it. So we don't want our goals to be too small to where it's not motivating or inspiring with the progress that we're making, but you don't want to make them so big that it's just, you're never going to get close and you're not going to have any milestones on the way. So setting realistic goals, thinking to yourself, okay, what is something that would cause me to be a little uncomfortable today? Something that would cause me to stretch myself a little bit better, something that could push me but not break me. Tip number 5, time management. Time management is Well, that's all we really got is time, right? So a lot of people can make that argument. I would stand right alongside with them. Time management. Where is your time going? For me, recently, I have a goal for like 30 days. I'm not looking at my cell phone. I'm not looking at social media apps. I'm not looking on my phone. I manage social media stuff on through my computer. I don't get sidetracked on the computer like I do on my cell phone. I'll just doom scroll. I'll just watch random YouTube videos, and I'm done giving my time to that. I was on pace to give over 1,000 hours this year to my phone, to my screen time. That's I don't think that's fair to me, and I don't think that's fair to my goals. I don't think that's fair for what I truly want. So that's one thing with time management, is just really trying to figure out, where is your time actually going? Like, where is it actually going? We have so much time, 24 hours in a day, dude. You can get so much done. I've there I went to the seminar, and these guys were building out these companies, and they had to do that in with 24 hours. And I was blown. They've reached out to more people about their business and what they're doing more in 20. They did it more in 24 hours than I have in the last 2-3 years of my life. And it just proves to me, and it doesn't show that I'm inadequate or I'm a loser. I'm bad at business, versus just the fact that you can do so much more with your time if the intentionality is right. If, like in our first tip, prioritize and organize, if things are properly organized along those things. So time management, I say that to just try out, where are you giving your time? Where is your time going? And then that leads us into my next point that I really like, that the billionaires say this is the secret to life. Learn to say no. Learning to say no, I hear, is the secret nectar to life. Billionaires, if you look at, they say no to everything. Everything. Whether it's these new fads, whether it's these like certain get rich quick schemes, or whether it's just people trying to take up their time. When you can say no to the things that are not in alignment with what you want out of life, you give yourself a superpower that makes you untouchable, and nearly guarantees your success. But the hard part is, we feel like we're missing out when we decide on the one thing that we really want. If what I care about most is that number one goal, and I'm saying yes to other things, then this number one goal is going to take more time. It's not going to just happen in a flash, and that's okay. So learning to make peace with that, to breathe and acknowledge that that's okay. That's the pace I'm taking. That's the pace that I'm okay with. And I'm going to continue to say no to other things that aren't extremely valuable to what it is that I want. And then this one gets to our last one. This is similar to prioritization. Evaluate your commitments. Evaluate your commitments. What are you committed to? What are you committed to? I have a number of commitments, and one of them is a handful of rental properties in this area. And I'm trying to sell these suckers and buy a property out in Colorado. That's I'm really evaluating my commitments. I'm giving a lot of time to the properties, a lot of headache, a lot of overwhelming feeling, and it's making me really evaluate. It's like, what is the end goal here? And my goal is always to play Monopoly, to have buy properties, sell them, get nicer properties, roll them over, 1031 exchanges, so I can dodge tax it. The word dodge is probably strong for the IRS. Don't come after me, but legally you can sell a property, and if you claim intentions to another property within 6 to 12 months, then you can roll it over, and then you don't have to pay capital gains tax. So that's totally illegal and part of my plan and part of what I want to do. But it's really been making me think about my commitments in general. My commitments, I'm just not working a full day on my dream business. And not being committed to that makes me feel sad. And but I also need to I'm in this hustle phase to where I need to get my ducks in a row. I need to be kind of allocating my capital properly so I don't go belly up and have to lose everything in terrible organic fashion. I think it being an entrepreneur can be a brutal balance, but that's also part of why the payoff is so big and so good. I truly believe I have the potential to bring lots of great wealth to my family, to my friends, and like bring a lot of fun experiences to the table. But there's going to be some bumpy roads, and I'm probably going to have to work a few extra hours and this and that. And if I were to talk to my older self, I always like going like 20 years out, 20 years to your elder. So for me, that'd be someone who's about 50 years old and saying like, hey man, am I doing the right thing? Is this going the way I'd want to? And I could honestly answer that. Yeah, I would say yes. So I think evaluating your commitments, and maybe your commitment says like, hey, maybe you should lay off of this until you get that done. It's okay to put things away or to the side until a later date when it's more appropriate. It's just being very honest with yourself of what do you really want and how do you want to go about it. So evaluating our commitments is our last one. We went really long today. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Started at 8 a.m., kind of rolling through. And so quick little recap for my video editor. Tip number 1, prioritize and organize. That helps with feeling overwhelmed. Next, ask for help. Next, self-care. Number 3. Number 4, setting realistic goals somewhere in the middle, not too small, not too big. Time management. Where is your time actually going? Learn to say no to the things that are not in alignment with what we really want out of life. And also evaluate your commitments. Number 7. So I hope these were helpful. These were tips, tricks, and ideas on how to overcome feeling overwhelmed. I honestly already feel better from talking to you guys about it. So I know I can feel very overwhelmed sometimes, and it feels like this unbearable weight. And then I don't want to take action on absolutely anything, and that is not good. So we want to continue to help, prepare. And I think my favorite one that I'm really trying to focus on is, oh gosh, there's so many, so good ones, so good. But if you, I'm going to go ahead and I got to go meditate a little bit before some of my coaching sessions. I hope you guys have an incredible day. If you're feeling overwhelmed, don't hesitate to reach out to me. If you need a coach for your personal or professional journey, I have a 6-week course that is absolutely life-changing, guaranteed, or your money back. You get $1 million in value or your money back, guaranteed. It has changed my life. Thanks for checking out our content. If you want to learn more about investing in yourselves and working with me and our company personally, we offer a 6-week Total Life Mastery Bootcamp where we go over the most important topics to make sure that our life has the foundation we need to catapult us forward to take the right and proper actions to become happier and more productive, guaranteed, or our money back.